On this video, I'm doing a review of the Harley Pan America special for the trip that we took from Vancouver all the way to Tuktoyaktuk, the Arctic Ocean. I'm going to tell you my thoughts on the Harley Davidson for this trip. And what did I do when I got home? Okay, roll the engine. I'll start out by telling you a couple of the stats. So I'll show you a map of the route that we took all the way from Vancouver to get to the Arctic Ocean. Here's the route that I rode the Pan America every day through rain, sleet, and sun until we got right up to Tuktoyaktuk, the Arctic Ocean. So it was part of my personal goal to actually ride the Pan America the whole way. It didn't matter what the conditions were. Some of them were rain, and at one point we did hit hail, sleet. There was a little bit of sunshine, and once we got north of the Yukon border, we had a lot more sunshine. Once we got to the Arctic Ocean at the sign there, we ended up doing 5,125 kilometers on the Pan America. One item that I've been very happy with on this is the adaptive ride height suspension. Let's just say the suspension overall. Did about 1,500 kilometers on dirt, and the suspension has been fantastic. I've really been happy with it. I was concerned with the front wheels and the rad setup about what would happen on the dirt roads to the rad. But as you can tell right there, I washed it yesterday. But really it's done quite well for all the gravel that we've been on, especially the Dempster highway. There's one rock stuck right there. But it turned out better than what I thought. The other area I was really pleased with about how easy it was to change the oil on this. So I'll show you a picture when I did it, because I had to change the oil in Dawson City. Super easy. Even though the windshield does seem kind of flimsy the way it moves around like that, I've really been impressed on this trip of how the windscreen has worked. It is adjustable right here with that switch. But when I'm riding through the rain and through the wind, I don't get any buffering on my helmet, and it actually takes the parachute effect away from the body. So the tires we put on for this trip were the Michigan Anarchy Wild. Here's what it looks like new, and here's what it looked like after about 3,500 kilometers of pavement and about 1,500 kilometers of dirt, 983 being the Dempster highway. Now for a couple of things that, in my opinion, were not so good. One thing that I worried about on the trip continuously, and I was looking at it every day, is where they put this rad hose to the front cylinder exhaust pipe. It's so tight there, and I know these hoses are meant for high heat, but it was always in the back of my mind to worry about that. So I just kept looking at it every day. I also had one situation in Whitehorse, and that was the day that we hit heavy rain all the way. And first thing in the morning, after I got suited up with all the rain gear, the bike wouldn't start. It was turning over, but it wouldn't fire, it wouldn't catch. And then when it finally did start, then it went into limp mode, and we actually had to wait about a half an hour for limp mode to go off so I can get started again. So maybe that was a one-of, I don't know. But it was a bit of an inconvenience after I suited up for heavy rain. One thing that I've commented about before that I'm not happy about is sometimes all these codes that come up, the error codes. And I was a stretch from Watson Lake all the way to Whitehorse. I was getting error codes about every half hour. But what I elected to do is I elected not to look at them during the ride, because if something was going to happen, it was going to be whatever it's going to be. So right now, for the first time on this trip, I'm actually going to see what the diagnostics say, what all the error codes are. So let's take a look. So here's the 5 that are on here so far. So I'm going to have to take a picture of them and get a hold of the dealership to see if any of them are really serious. What those mean, I don't know. But I'm not going to clear them yet. It's still running okay. The last thing that I was not overly happy with on this trip, it actually happened just yesterday when we were returning from the Arctic Ocean to Inuvik. So there's a setting on the bike that if you spin the rear tire too much, it goes into what I call, and some other call, limp mode. So we were on a very loose road, which I'll show you a little clip of right here. So there was a number of sections going up hills where I was spinning the tire to get up that loose gravel. And the bike went into limp mode again, which it has a loss of power when it does that. It does it to preserve the motor. But I was in limp mode all the way back to Inuvik, which was about 2.5 hours on that gravel road. Now I could have just pulled over and shut the bike off for a half an hour, it resets itself and get going again. But that's a half an hour added to a 2.5 hour ride back. On an adventure bike, I think you should be allowed to spin the tires, so that's just one thing that I'm not too happy about. So what's my overall impression of the Pan America after we finished the first 5,000 kilometers and the destination of getting to the Arctic Circle on the Dempster Highway? Overall, I'm pretty pleased with it. I was worried before we left, but it's performed awesome on this trip. What did I do when I got home?